My body was telling me, no, you don't have to be busy. This is your time.
Welcome back to episode 196 of the Redefining Midlife podcast. I'm your host, Jo Clark. Now, as you know, I talk a lot on this podcast about my mentoring work and about the Reimagine program. But today I wanted to do something just a little bit different. I wanted you to actually meet one of the women who I've mentored before and I've had the privilege of working with for some time. So you can see for yourself just how amazing she is. Debbie Craig is Scottish by birth and Aussie by choice. She's a partner, a dance mum, and a learning and development professional who will never say no to bubbles, cocktails, cake, craft, or a chance to dance, even if her younger daughter insists that she's not very good at it. I don't know what she's talking about, Debbie. But underneath all of that warmth and fun, Debbie went through something that actually changed everything for her. She received a breast cancer diagnosis. Now, after finishing treatment for breast cancer, Debbie found herself in a place that so many women describe, but so few of us actually talk about openly. The treatment ends, and everyone around you is relieved and moving on, and you're left there standing, wondering who you are even anymore. So Debbie felt lost. She didn't know how to find her way to what she calls her after. And that's what brought her to me. And it's exactly why I wanted her on the podcast today. Because I think so many of you listening are in your own version of an after. And even if it doesn't look like Debbie's, maybe it's not cancer. Maybe it's your marriage has ended, or maybe it's the kids who have left home, or a career that doesn't fit anymore. Whatever it is for you, you might be standing in that same spot that Debbie was, not knowing who you are on the other side of it. Now, I wanted you to hear from Debbie because I think it's so important for women to see that asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It is actually one of the strongest things that you can do for yourself. Debbie is an extraordinary everyday woman who's just like you and me, and she's reached a point where she said, I need someone to walk this with me. And that's what a mentor really is. It's not someone who fixes you or tells you what to do. It's someone who's been through their own version of hard and who can hold a light up to you so you can see the next few steps, and who can keep you accountable to the person that you're trying to become. Sometimes that little bit of support is a difference between staying stuck and actually moving forward. So today, the lovely Debbie is going to share her story with us, what her after looked like, and what changed when she stopped trying to figure it out all on her own. So welcome to the podcast, Debbie. It's great to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Jo.
That was quite a long-winded intro, but I really wanted
That's
to
all
give
good.
everyone a picture of who you are, what mentoring really is, because some people don't actually understand what mentoring is. So what I'd like you to do to start off with, can you take us back to the time when you were diagnosed and what that season of your life must have been like for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, I was at that kind of midlife point anyway. There was lots of changes happening in my body. Gone to the doctors, perimenopause was thrown around a few times. But she'd actually said, look, to do all the regular testing, we need you to come off the contraceptive pill. So I had conversations with my partner, that happened. But then for me, things just didn't feel right in my body. I don't know what it was. Like there was just a few things like I had ovary pain. I also had a lot of kind of swelling, just those kind of like the perimenopause things that we all kind of hear about and talk about, like the hot nights, that type of thing, putting on weight. And I just generally didn't feel great in myself. And I also had a sore shoulder. So I went back to the doctor. I said, look, here's all the things that are happening with, and that's not like me. I don't normally ask for help. So I went and spoke to her and said, okay, something's not right in my body. What's going on? All right. I don't think there's anything. We done the normal blood test. Everything came back okay. But she said, look, you're at that point now. Let's go and just get like a mammogram. You're past your 40s now. We'll get it all checked anyway. Couldn't feel anything, but here we did. We went and did it. And then it came back that there was something there. And for me, that just kind of stopped me in my tracks a little bit. It kind of threw me. I thought, that can't be me. Like, there's nothing there. I can't feel anything. Went and had some more tests and things done. And actually, it was the day before my 46th birthday, I got my cancer diagnosis. So when you hear those words, like it's just a real disbelief. And I'm normally the person that's always there, being in learning development. I'm the one that kind of helps everyone else. So I was just really stopped in my tracks and thought, I have no idea what to do here. And so for that season for me, it was like, okay, it's before my 46th birthday. I was already at that point in my life where my body was changing, my feelings about me was changing, where I was at in my life was changing. It's like, okay, we'll probably need to start thinking about retirement. What do we do for that? What do we do for the future? What does it look like also for my daughter in the future? And then get that thrown in the mix. It really just kind of threw me a curveball. So yeah, that's how that season felt initially. Um, went to the surgeon and things the next day, got a clearer pattern and understood what was happening with the diagnosis and what that meant for me. And for me, that meant to get a lumpectomy, radiation treatment, and then further hormone targeted therapy thereafter. And roll on 14 months later, here we are today.
Oh, 14 months later.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's all fairly recent, and I can only imagine what that must have felt like right before your 46th birthday.
Yeah.
Everything else happening in your life, a young child still at home, and you're going, what am I going to do with this? It
Yeah,
would have
definitely.
rocked your world. So alongside everything else that was happening, and that's just such a major thing for anyone to go through. Were there any other sorts of things that you were finding in this stage of life that you were going through? I mean, you mentioned, or if I've got treatment, do I have to retire? What could that
Yeah,
look
like
like? Was
there's so much that you think about, like your brain, it just feels like you can't actually think anymore. So for me, I did write a lot down. I had to get it out somewhere and just scrolling through Google, as they say, don't Google, but you do Google. But at that point in my life too, like myself, my partner, we were talking about, okay, what does the future hold in the sense of retirement? What does that look like? We have all our family overseas. So again, it was thinking about, okay, well, how can we travel overseas more? How can we do that? What does it look like for my daughter? Is she going to go to university? And I know she's still young, but we're starting to think about all those things anyway. And we started to make plans about, okay, let's look at investing, let's sort of finances. What does that look? Even like work, I'd thought about doing something aside from my learning and development role about like helping other people in learning and development. So there was lots of things that I'd thought about doing, but just kind of felt like I was a little bit stuck. I don't know, like most days just felt very mundane, day to day, roll to roll. It just felt similar. And then obviously that thrown into the mix just really kind of, I guess it was a propeller for the after.
yes, yes. And did it galvanize you into, right, I've got to make, you never know what's around the corner. I've got to make sure that I'm making the most of every moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It just made me really think about what is important for me and our family. And yeah, that was, as I said, really the propeller to kind of make all that happen. First and foremost was to get like I wasn't unwell, and that was also what kind of shocked us the most. Like I didn't have any like unwellness.
Mm.
But looking back now, I can see there was things that probably as a woman you just dismiss and think, oh, that's just normal. But clearly wasn't normal. It was clearly my body saying there's something going on here that you need to get fixed. So experience and all that definitely made us a little bit more aligned to what do I want? Like what does Debbie want? What does Debbie look like now? And because I guess being like a mum, being overseas, like away from all your family, away from all your friends, obviously we've got family, I'm sorry, we've got friends that now feel like family, but there was a lot of me that was lost in the way. Like you were just kind of going around day to day living and not really knowing what life really looked like. So that has definitely been the big positive out of it. And it's like, okay, right, what are we doing now?
Yeah. And so how did you to explain it, because I don't think I've even had this conversation with you. You obviously found me on Instagram, or I don't know, was it Instagram or the
Yeah, it
podcast?
was
I'm not sure where.
Instagram. Yeah,
Okay.
so and like initially, I think most people probably do it the scroll of an evening. Like you get some downtime, and you kind of scroll. I did have a lot of thoughts about okay, well, what do I want to do in my future? Do I want to maybe going to go into some consulting alongside my work? And I always want to give back and I always want to help other people. That's just me in nature. So I thought, what else can I do like with what I'm doing currently just to kind of keep me alive and like give me that buzz, give me that feeling again. So yeah, I actually probably searched you, I think probably over a year beforehand. Like I'd found your page and I think I'd messaged you and thought, yeah, I'll come back to that. And never ever came back to it. But then that was like, I'm sure there was someone out there that, yeah, I was just really connected with you. I went on, I had a look at some of your podcasts, I went online, had a look at some of your Instagram, and then I sent the message. I'm like, yeah, I actually have to send this message. Stop saying no, Debbie, just do it. It's only a message, just do it. And yeah, then I did. I connected with you on
Yeah.
Instagram and just asked more questions about what you offered, and then you sent me the information.
Yeah. It's a big leap of faith because I know So, and I'm guilty of it as well. You think you're going to do something, and you save it, you look at it, you toy around with it for a while, and then you push it into the corner,
Yeah.
and it takes a lot. So what was that? That was that catalyst for you to go, rightio, this is it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
After, I guess, like after all the treatment had, well, after my surgery, I had time off work, and I never take time off work. And even for me, that was a struggle. So those initial few weeks just doing nothing. And for the people that do know me, that's not like me. I found that really, really difficult. Just actually as a mum, as like a hard worker, as someone that just had to stop and let myself heal, that was really, really hard for me. So because I was doing that initially, to be honest, I couldn't cope. I'm like, I have to be busy.
Mm.
But my body was telling me, no, no, you don't have to be busy. This is your time. So yeah, I actually did start to journal quite a lot. I wrote a lot down, and as part of that, started to go through some of my old saved posts on Instagram, be like, okay, well, what does that look like? I need someone to help me, like, and asking for help's hard. Like, it's not easy, and especially if you are like a woman that's normally the one that does everything, holds everything together. Asking for help, it can be hard, but hey, it's probably one of the best things that you can do. So yeah, that's when I decided to go back through some of my Instagram posts and think, okay, well, what do I want? And I had no idea, if I'm honest, Joe. I had no idea what that looked like for me.
Mm.
And I think that's why I really connected to you and some of the posts that I'd read. And I thought, oh my goodness, this actually sounds like something that I need. And I did have some barriers, and like thinking, oh, this is going to be me that I'm having to talk about. One was like, okay, do I have the investment to put into this? But then I just kind of kept thinking to myself, you've got to do it now. Like, if you don't, you'll never do it. And then I kind of reflected on all the times that I'd said I would do it in the past and didn't. I thought, no, no, just do it. So I did it.
It is, you hit the nail on the head when you said it's really hard, and it is hard. It's hard to say yes to yourself. It's hard to invest in yourself. So not only saying yes, okay, I'll make the decision, yes, I'm going to do it. It's a financial cost as well, because it doesn't come free. Like I'm not certainly charging like a wounded bull, like a lot of mentors might out there, but it's still an investment in yourself. And a lot of
Yeah,
women have never invested that kind of money into themselves. And if you think back, like in a heartbeat, I would invest that money in my own children, in my husband, in anyone else close to me. But it's that, oh, investing in myself, it feels unusual, feels odd, because it's something that we're not used to. And like you said, you're there for everybody else. To give that to yourself it's a big leap.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Just a quick pause before we hear the rest of Debbie's story. Now, if any of this is striking a chord with you in our conversation today, perhaps you're in the middle of your own transition and you're feeling a bit lost about what comes next, or maybe you're even going through your own version of a hard season and you're just not quite sure how to find your way through it. Well, that's exactly what Reimagined is for. It's my 6 week private one on one online mentoring program, and it's built around having someone alongside you, someone to help you get clear on what you actually want, someone who will keep you accountable, and also to remind you that you don't have to figure it out all on your own. Now, if you're curious whether Reimagine or any of my other mentoring options might be right for you, just head on over to joeclarkcoaching.com and you can book a complimentary connection call with me. You can also send me a DM on Instagram at joeclarkcoaching or drop me an email at joe@joeclarkcoaching.com. Absolutely no pressure at all. It's just a chat. Now, let's get back to Debbie and our conversation. So, tell us now then, what was it that actually, what was it actually like, I should say, going through the whole mentoring process itself?
Oh, look, for me, the thing that I really liked was I just connected with you, Joe, and for everyone else out there, you just make people feel really comfortable. And yes, there will be questions that are kind of asked that are about you. And like a lot of women are not used to kind of getting those deep and delving a little bit deeper, and actually thinking about us and what we want and putting us first. But that was what I also loved. I loved that connection. I loved that support. You didn't tell me what to do, it was all in me, but what you did and what I loved the most was you asked the right questions to make me think a little bit deeper and think about what my values are, what I'm aligned to, and what actually does matter to me. So yes, that was hard. It's not easy looking into yourself and thinking about all those things that you want and what you need, and actually what are your true values. But that was also what propelled everything else after that. I love that you kind of kept me to account. There was homework to do, so I knew I actually need to do this. I need to think about this. I need to set time aside for me to do this and actually work on me. Because if I don't do that, I'm going to probably be in the same position however many months, years later. So that I love that part. Just actually kind of sitting down with my time, with the tools, but also starting to kind of discover the things that I forgot that I loved. So that was really important too. And just the feeling that someone is actually truly listening to you and hearing everything that you've got to say, and being allowed to be completely open and honest. Like, I know we had a lot of kind of conversations where, yeah, I did get upset. I was like, yeah, very emotional and things, but it all had to come out, and I felt that that was safe to do that with you.
Yeah, I'm glad you felt that way. And you're right. It's the questions that you don't ask yourself that somebody else can ask of you. And you can have close friends, and sometimes they tell you what you want to hear as well. Like I come, certainly form a
Yeah,
relationship over the 6 week. We get to know each other really well. But I don't tell you what you might always want to hear. It might be challenging some of the things that you've said and just highlighting that you know deep down exactly what you want, who you are, and it's just layer by layer finding that the Debbie that's always been there and the Debbie that's
yeah,
going to become as well.
yeah,
And that's that whole process, isn't it, of
yeah,
becoming. Who am I going to be? This is a major thing that you've gone through. You've got your whole life now to look forward to. What's it going to look like for you?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's so, and it's lovely. It's lovely seeing you finding that joy again and remembering parts of yourself that you've kind of forgotten with life, career, then illness. It's a lot.
Yeah, you do. You just, and I think as a woman, like you put everything else first.
Mm.
And that's hard sometimes. Like it feels like you're kind of maybe having to get permission to do all those other things. But yeah, it's making sure that they're, like you said, the non-negotiables. Like what are your kind of things that you need to do every day or every week or however that looks for you to make you feel like you. And
Yeah.
it might not be again, it might be the person that you're becoming after whatever it is. But I think it's important to know what that looks like, and how you're going to get there.
Yes. And we're always evolving. The Debbie that you are today is going to be very different to the Debbie of this time next year and 10 years from now. Like we all evolve, but I think having that and going through this process, you've got the tools now that you can
Yeah,
take yourself through or, check in with me from time to time just to see how things are going. And because that's the best thing about it. Once you know a bit of a process that you can
yeah,
follow, it really helps you to stay on track and not say you can't deviate from that track
yeah.
because you do.
No,
You try things and you work out it may not be for you, but then an idea that you might have had or
yeah,
a new habit that you might have wanted to try. So everything changes, but you give it a go. That's what
do. Yeah,
and that's what I've really loved when I've been working with you is that you give things a go. You're open-minded. You've got that willingness to give things a try and to learn
yeah,
more about yourself and that there are other ideas that you might not
yeah.
have explored before.
Exactly. And I think as well, like you said, the tools were really important for me because, like, having a diagnosis, there's all like that part's experience, but now there's always going to be checks and things along the line. And yes, there's going to be curveballs. And only a few months ago, I had like a panic call from my surgeon having to get some more tests and things, which were all good. But at that point, it's like, okay, what did Joe teach me? I can do this. And it's just knowing that you can get through the hard stuff with those tools and know that you've got it within you to actually to do that. Because
Yeah.
life's never always going to be plain sailing, but things will come up, but it's having those tools and mechanisms to be able to actually yeah,
Yeah.
do
Did
what you need to
did
do.
other family members like your partner, your daughter, did people notice as you were going through, did they
Yeah,
notice some changes in you?
it did. Yeah, there was definitely some changes. One, especially my daughter, like being at like school now, there's lots of kind of other influences that you can't control, like the way other people's brought up, the things that get said, those kind of like age 10 girls, there's lots of kind of hormones flying around, lots of
Mm.
things getting said. So a lot of kind of things that she would come home from school saying, it would probably be like negative talk. So that's one thing working with you's really helped me about the way we actually talk to each other. But then I've been able to talk to my daughter about that and get her to change like her mindset a little bit. Even when it comes to dancing, things like, oh, I can't do that. Well, you can't do that yet. Or she'll say, oh, this is my, used to say, this is my bad leg. That's your working on leg. So it's just trying to change her mindset. So that's been really, really positive and helped her probably achieve some goals too. And then also my partner just sitting down and actually chatting about, hey, this is what's important to me, but how is that going to fit in with like our relationship and our life and what that looks like, and getting aligned together on that too. And just, yeah, those, like I said, those non-negotiables, things that I know that I need to do like each day, each week, or whatever that looks like for me. But he's also now good at saying, hey, you also need to do the time. Like you need to, you're
Isn't
going to
that
do that. Like you
wonderful?
said you're going to do that, you've not done that. So there's a lot more connection there too, which is really, really good.
Fantastic. And one of the big things we talked about was the old quote saying, know thyself. So what did you learn about yourself? What did you find out?
Um, I learned that I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was. I'm probably a lot more resilient as well than I thought I was, but also that I can do things that I didn't think I could do. And I think it's about probably believing in a lot of things that I would say to others naturally, like in my job role, that type of thing. I'm the one that can encourages people, gives them
Yeah.
feedback, tries to make them the best that they can be. But hey, it's about me. I have to make me the best that I can be too. So I think with those tools and those strategies, I know I can get through harder things, but I can also get to the goals that I want to achieve. And that's some things that I never thought would be possible. But now I'm starting to kind of believe more in
Yeah.
myself, which is
Yeah. Oh, and sitting watching that light starting to be turned on, it is such a privilege to see that and to be able to hear you talk back those words and because you're such a capable woman. It's wonderful to be able to see that. So, oh, yeah, all the goosebumps. It's lovely. So, what would you say you've changed since before and then after? What are some of the things in your
got
life?
more boundaries in place. If there's something that I don't want to do, I'll say no now. I'm not that I'm not people pleasing, but I just know what I want to do and what I'm not going to say yes to things that I don't want to do anymore. So I've got boundaries in place, which is really good. Other things that changes my confidence. I've been able to speak up more rather than kind of holding everything in. If I feel like I know something, I will speak up more. So that's changed things at work for me too. Definitely better working relationships. I've also got more confidence at work, and I feel that that's kind of improved on my abilities and things that I can do, which does in turn help other people. It's about, okay, what can I do every day? So I make sure that as part of my wellness plan, I eat outside every morning. I go for walks regularly. I try and take time to do the hobbies and the things that actually bring me some joy too. So if no one's in, the music definitely goes on, and I don't get around for not dancing very well or not singing very well. And just trying to find those things that do bring light and joy to me, as well as just the normal day to day. Every like if you're a mum, like you've got things that you have to do, but it's also just kind of putting aside that and what's important to me now. The other really good thing is because I'm now aligned on what I want for our future and my future, everything that I do now, if it doesn't fit in with that, it's a straight no. It's like, okay, well that's not aligned with what I want, so it's not happening. So yeah, that's there's more conversations around that as a family and things too. It's like, okay, well, we're not going to do that because hey, this is what's actually more important to us, and that's where the path that we're going to go.
Brilliant, because it is so easy to say yes and overcommit to things, and then you're the one that suffers and complains when really
Yes.
saying no is hard
Yeah.
for sure, but it brings you so many benefits as well. And all of these changes, as you know, it sounds like a lot has happened, but they are small steps one after the other, and
Yeah.
after time it becomes that bigger change. Is that what you know? That's always what I
Yeah, it feels
encourage.
like that. It feels initially in those initial stages, it can be overwhelming because you have like a plan for your future and what that looks like. It's like, how do I get there? And for
Mm.
me, that was always the thing that was stopping. It's like I don't know how to do it. Like how but now like with the tools and strategies that you've taught me, it's not a no, it's how do I find the way. So it's like problem solving along the way, but it's just about getting started. And
Yeah.
like you said, Joe, it's very, very small steps, but it's those steps that then build on other steps that build on other steps. And then opportunities seem to arise. For example, I got an opportunity to actually go and do like a photo shoot and like some modeling of clothes. At the time, I thought, why did I even apply for that? And secondly, I'm going to find every excuse under the sun not to be able to do this. But I went and I had one of the best days ever. And before, I would have never done that. I would have just used all those excuses not to do that. And they've also asked me to kind of go back. And it's not really about going and like trying on clothes. It was about me and my confidence. And especially after surgery and everything that I've gone through, I'm like, I can do this. And it was just really fun. And like I really loved it. And like my daughter's like, oh my goodness, mum, you're an Instagram star. And I'm like, not quite, but yeah, go for it.
Right,
So
you
it's just,
will.
yeah, I think it's just about giving you that belief in the ability that you can go do hard things, and yeah, you can get to where you want to. And as I said, those little steps just start building momentum. So although those goals that you have might feel really big and overwhelming at the start, I think it's about making like smart goals, little plans that actually build steps. And those little steps, whether it be daily, weekly, whatever it looks like for you, does get some trajectory, and then they actually become bigger things, and things start to happen because of that, which is, it feels like you've got progress then.
Yeah, and when you get that feedback that you feel like you're getting somewhere, that gives you that confidence to keep on taking that next
Yes.
step and the next step.
Yeah.
And then
And
suddenly
yeah,
you're saying yes to fashion shoots
yeah,
like you did. I mean, how great is
yeah.
that? I mean, that would not have been on your bingo card at the
No,
start
it
of
definitely
the
would not
year.
have been.
Oh, I'm so proud of you with that. So over the time that we had together, was there a session or a moment that really has stuck with you?
So many parts that I loved about all of it. The parts that I think that really stuck with me is those words. It's about those words that you use, and those affirmations that you can use daily. I think that's really, really important. And initially, I probably couldn't find the right ones for me, but using those words that I can speak kindly to me and stop my limiting beliefs. I think that's the ones that I've kind of moved forward with everything that I do now. And it's about not having those self limiting beliefs anymore, and about using words. And sometimes I do catch myself out, maybe things that I'll do saying like, no, actually change that. So it's constantly thinking about the words that I'm using, the things that I'm doing on a daily basis, and whether they're all connecting to where I believe and what my values are. And those are the ones that stand out, and those are the ones that are now having influence on other people as well.
Oh, that's brilliant. It's that awareness, isn't it? It's catching yourself, like you said, because we do it, everybody does it, that negative self-talk, but it's catching yourself in the moment and then doing, once you've caught it, you've got that choice in what you're going to do with that. Are you going to keep
Exactly.
talking that way to yourself, or are you going to replace it with something else that's more empowering rather than being really disempowering? Yeah, it makes a huge difference. A plus for you. That's really good. I know you talked about some of the benefits that you've gained, but what do you see as some of the, the biggest benefits from having worked through the Reimagine program?
I think the biggest benefits are for me was knowing that I wasn't, I can't explain it better. Knowing that I wasn't as lost as I thought I was, I just needed someone to pull that out of me, and that was obviously you. And like you said, it's the words, it's the questions, it's knowing what to ask. Yes, you can speak to your friends, and yes, you can go to other people to kind of ask for that help. But you just knew the tools and the strategies to get what was already in here, and I think that was really, really important. And having now those tools that I can reflect back to on the hard days, because there
Mm.
will still be challenges, and I know that, but knowing that I can use those tools in everyday life, that's what I really like and what's really, really helpful.
Yeah, brilliant. There's one of my favorite quotes is you can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. And it's one of
Yeah,
those things where life is going to keep throwing things at you all the time, but it's knowing how what sort of things that you can do to
yeah,
best
yeah.
cope with when they do.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's even like those simple things, like if you've not had a good night's sleep. Obviously, I've got a daughter; she's not been well the last couple of days. But it's before I probably wake up and be grumpy and think, oh, I'm going to have a really crappy day. I've not had a good sleep. But it's also catch myself in the morning saying, yeah, I've not had a great sleep, but hey, that's not the rest of the day. Here's what's going to happen today. And yeah, it's just about the whole outlook on how you carry yourself and how you wake up every day.
Mm, yeah. And what a great role model you're being for your daughter in,
I hope
in,
so.
in showing all of
Apart
those
from the
things.
dancing.
Apart from your dancing. Oh, she'll learn to appreciate it when she's about 20. I know my child, my daughter she doesn't care what I dance like now. She's happy to see me up on the dance floor. Now, I know that you've got something new and exciting that's brewing for yourself after all that you've been through. And I'd love you to tell us about the business idea that you're putting into place now, which is, I'm so thrilled for you.
During the whole journey, there was a lot of resources that are not out there. So I found myself Googling a lot. Most women that go through some kind of diagnosis do, like you refer to Google, you get leaflets and things when you're at the doctors, the surgery, all that type of stuff. But I just felt that there wasn't enough real information out there. There's also a lot of negativity around diagnosis too. And I didn't want that. Like I wanted to be positive about what was happening. It's like, hey, this is not for me. There needs to be some positivity around this. So a lot of people were then starting to kind of ask me some questions. Even when I was down at the actual hospital getting some treatment, I was on a kind of trial treatment too. They were asking for feedback, knowing that it was in learning and development and the role that I had. It was useful for them to get feedback on what worked, what didn't, and how they could also help other women going through similar treatment. So I decided I'm going to actually set up a little page and then put some of my feedback, not medical advice, but some of my feedback out there to other women to help them. So I have started an Instagram page. I've also started building some resources and tools for like-minded women that maybe have just come across diagnosis, maybe they're wondering what to do after, but it's all about the strategies that I found that really helped me get to where I am now. And as part of that healing process, what does that look like? Because like you mentioned at the start, everyone's there for you, like in the beginning. And when they know everything's okay, that's it. Like everything just kind of goes back to normal for everyone else, but nothing's normal for you guys anymore. Like it changes. It changes everything about you. It changes the way you feel about yourself. It changes the way you feel about your body. It can change your relationships. It can change your work. So there were some gaps out there that I just felt, hey, there needs to be something to help with those gaps for other women that are not medical advice, but someone that's actually gone through it and experienced that, but also, hey, what can you do to make your life improve and get through that healing and help them with that. So yeah, very early stages. As I said, I've started up an Instagram page, getting lots of interaction, lots of feedback, lots of comments, just real open conversation about what it's like. Some things even I'm putting on there is just what's it like to go for an MRI? What's it like to go for a PET scan? People don't talk to you about this. People don't talk about like what to wear, what that looks like. And then I've started to put some tools together for actually the healing. So once you've had your diagnosis, like what does that look like? What might help you? Some tools and strategies for that. And yeah, just what I've found. And the next step for me is I'm going to be building a course on it as well. I've been kind of working behind the scenes on what that's going to look like. So that's the long term goal. But yeah, it's just it makes me feel good that what I've gone through can help other women and yeah, give them some positivity, give them some light and some tools and resources to help them too.
Well, I can't think of a better person who's going to be able to step another woman and help them through what would be an incredibly scary process and major event in their lives. So well done to you using what you've gone through to help others. Not everyone does that. So yeah, thank you on behalf of the women who are going to be
Thank
using
you.
all of those things. We'll put your Instagram link in the show notes as well, but just share with everybody where they could find you on Instagram.
Yeah, so it's at my breasty AU. I chose my breasty in light of hey, it's your best, but feel like your besties as well. But
Yeah.
also so I could be that support person like people's besties out there. So yeah.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So, Debbie, if someone was sitting where you were back then, wondering whether mentoring was for them, what would you say?
Don't question it, just do it. Honestly, I wish that's probably one thing I should have done it sooner. But I think for me, like life circumstances, that was the trajectory to kind of make it happen. But if you're in any sort of doubt or you're thinking, oh, I don't know where I am, I feel like lost, like who am I? What am I doing? Is this what the rest of my life's going to look like? Any of those questions, just yeah, definitely jump on and get you on board and get a mentor. It really does change your life.
Mm.
Yeah, it really does.
Oh, I love hearing that. So tell us what you're looking forward to now in the next 12 months, 5 years. What, like, go as far as you want or
Yeah.
as short as you want.
So like yeah, by the end of the year, I'm really looking forward to launching my course to as I said, to help other women and just help them get the tools and resources and see light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully like they can build on their hopes and dreams as well. Longer term, I want to be a little bit more involved in the space, actually maybe doing some workshops, chatting out there to women, but also looking at some funding and things as well, like actually helping people financially through the process, because it does have a knock on a lot of women out there, and there needs to be more help for women that are going through these types of diagnoses.
Yes.
People have got a lot of capacity to work. Workplaces don't really know, I guess, what to do or how to talk to women. So I want to kind of go and help workplaces as well as help find some funding to support women financially. So yeah, that's the longer term plans. Just really keeping going with this, making sure that I can find ways to help other women do this from whatever angle that is, whether it's resources, just chatting to them, pointing them in the right direction. Like the bigger aspect of it is really kind of getting more information out there publicly to employers and workplaces as well, and how they can actually help, because there's a huge thing about they've maybe not got capacity to work, and a lot of women just kind of get written off in the sense like, okay, you need all this time off, but also as a woman we're very busy and we need to feel that we are needed and that we've got capacity to do things. So you're not only dealing with a diagnosis and your whole potentially body and how you feel about things changing and potentially your life changing, you need to still work to a capacity and know what that looks like.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that in the future.
It must be, Debbie, such an isolating thing to go through. Like you would be feeling, even though you know there's lots of women who may be given that same diagnosis that you were, but when it's for you, it would be very isolating. So whenever you're going through something hard, you often feel like you're the only one. So having somebody like you to be there to find the resources who can make you feel less alone makes a big difference. So you are a mentor as well.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that you've got all the answers. It doesn't mean that your pathway is going to look exactly the same as the next person's, but you've gone through something. There's something that you've got those touch points. So that's so special.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just, I guess it's helping people, like you said, maybe not having all the answers, but giving them some support and direction where to potentially get the answers. Because no two people's journey is going to be the same. But like you said, it's having someone that's gone through that journey and knowing those little ins and outs that people don't always tell you, from like whether, as I said, it's the scans that you're going for, or what surgery is going to look like, or what you're going to feel like, or even like how you're going to feel after it. It's
Mm.
all those things that really help. And yes, you can Google, there's lots of help groups and things out there that you can join, but I think it's that human connection. I think it's really, really important, having someone to talk to, like you said, that's actually been there. And it's not necessarily from a medical point of view, but it's just from a human connection.
Yeah, yeah. That's the missing piece, isn't it, often? So don't do it by yourself. Check out on I'd love you to check on Debbie's work, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how everything evolves for you. So thank you so much for coming on today, because I know this was probably not on your bingo card either to be,
Definitely
to
not.
be on a podcast sharing your story with a whole lot of people that you
Yeah,
don't know who are out there. So thank you. That it's a lot of bravery to put your hand up and say, yeah, okay, I'll give it a go. Not everyone is willing to do that. So good on you for doing that. And our
thank you.
final question, Debbie, is if 80-year-old Debbie was looking back at today's Debbie, what would you want her to say about who you are right now?
I would want her to say, keep going, just keep going. Yeah, yeah.
Damn right. I'm so glad that she was going to say that, because I would be saying exactly the same to her as well. So thanks so much, Debbie, for coming on today and sharing your story. And yeah, we'll be looking forward to seeing what happens in your life as it unfolds over the next 5, 10, 20, 30, 40,
Thank you.
50 years. All right.
Thank you, Joe. I really appreciate that.
Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode, please rate, follow, and share it with another incredible midlife woman. And join me next week as we keep creating an amazing second half of life.